And hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream today. I'm be making spring rolls. Uh, my friend Cryptic, he gave me the recipe. Well, he showed me the recipe online, so it should be good. Something that I haven't made before. And my guest today is Prospero,
Hello.
Sora Luna,
Hello.
and Sanguine. I can't say your last name, dude.
Good evening, all. Magavan.
Mangavan, yeah. Oh, no, I forgot to mute. All right, there we go. Let me change my camera. There it is. So it should be fun though. First thing I want to do is get the noodles ready. You don't want to use boiling water for the noodles because they're very delicate. So I'm just using like warm water. Yeah. Probably should open this before I started.
Rattly bags always take the longest to open.
Yeah.
They do because they know.
They do.
They know they're irritating.
It's like if you've ever tried to sneak open a bag of potato chips or something in the house and not have somebody go share. It's like crinkle, and it won't open for love nor money.
Yeah.
That's when you bring out the scissors.
Yes, snip, 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 snip. I had a cat once that it didn't matter what was being opened. This cat would run in and be obnoxious in bed. And I would get to the point that I was tiptoeing in the kitchen and trying to open the pantry door as quietly as I could to not have to get. It was kind of sad.
That's kind of like me with Minnie, my dog. It's like she has a radar for snacking.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of have to like ease open the cupboard and suddenly she's there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I hear that you're something's on the offer. Like, nope, nothing is, not for you.
Yeah, that's when you like grab a ball, throw it in the other room. They're like, no, you're not going to do that to me this time.
Yeah. I also got mint, which I already cut and sliced, and lettuce.
Nice.
All right. I'm just gonna move the noodles around a bit because they're not all fully submerged. All right. Now while the noodles get ready, I'm gonna start working on the shrimp, which I already parboiled. Well, they're already cooked because they're about frozen shrimp. So it's, they're easier. I'm gonna start cutting them up. Get rid of the tails.
Shrimp.
So you're going to do a fine mince or just a rough chop?
Just a rough chop,
Okay.
Nothing too fancy.
With certain fillings, you end up almost making them into a paste.
Yeah. The recipe I got was just sliced in half.
Okay.
I like the ones where it's a bit more of a chunky shrimp.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You get more shrimp flavor that way.
Yeah.
It all depends on what the use is. Some things having that like fine mince and then having all the seasonings mixed through. That's really nice. Others, chunkier cut is really nice.
It's also whether you've, like you mentioned on Pat's stream, like the shells were used to boil, and you're infusing the shrimp flavor that way.
Yep.
Then you can mince teeny tiny because you're going to know by the flavor that yes, there is shrimp here.
Looks like shrimp ramen doesn't really taste like shrimp, So,
it tastes like salt.
yeah.
Yes, salt and MSG.
Yeah, that's it.
From the
tasty stuff, salt and MSG, though.
Yeah, this should be not too long.
Yeah.
I don't have the best.
I do apologize.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's okay. You don't want to. I know it's soothing to watch you split a carcass of a dead animal.
Bug. It's a dead bug.
Yeah, bug. Okay.
Bugs are still animals.
Well,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, by definition.
I know, Sanguine. Let's play taxonomy,
Shall we
shall
go
we?
into the full taxonomic
No, we shall not.
nomenclature?
Of all the good, yummy things to eat,
Yeah.
sea bugs being one of them.
I can pull out a cladogram if we want.
No, thank you. But I do appreciate the offer.
I mean, in Asia they do get all the bugs, so.
That's nice.
A good chunk of them are tasty. Fried silkworms, ooh, those are like nature's popcorn.
Yeah, never had that. So.
That's okra, dear. Fried okra is nature's popcorn.
Same with silkworms. Just this little pop of earthiness.
I'll take your word for it. I will. I promise I'll take your word for it.
Also, scorpion isn't bad.
Oh.
Hard pass.
She's like, stop it, Sanguine,
See, that just makes me tempted to talk more about the bugs that I've eaten. Of course, there's the chocolate-covered ants. Those are fairly standard, though.
Oh. And I eat ants. Actually, ones are kind of spicy, because of the formic acid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was a market that I went to in China that was just effectively a bunch of snacks, and like half of the snacks there were bugs, and I ate my way through the market.
I remember from like a I don't know what it was, some childhood program about nature. One of the things was talking about, I think they were called honey ants.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And is it in Africa, where they basically grow like it looks like this amber pimple or something on the back, and you can eat them and they're sweet.
Yeah, they're repeats. They're like the food storage form.
Mm. And that was always interesting to me, but I still probably wouldn't try it. But they look less of a creepy thing to eat than some of the other stuff I've seen. Like for example, scorpions. I probably would avoid that.
Scorpions, you just have to make sure that the tail is plucked off, or not the tail, but just the very end of the tail, the stinger, is plucked off, and then that they got a nice fry on them. So be careful about the legs; they can sometimes stick in the back of the throat.
Sanguine.
What?
I love you. Useless is making very pretty food for our enjoyment, and we're talking about eating bugs. That's not nice.
Food.
I know, but it isn't such fine food as these beautiful shrimp that he is having so lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I like Oki says scorpions are mostly texture. Yeah, I can see that. I don't see them having much meat to them.
It's mainly the body, and the body isn't that big. So
it's, what would you call it that you're eating? The carapace? Carapace?
Yeah, it's a carapace.
Yeah. It's a little bit like soft shell crab, which is an unusual thing. It depends on how soft the soft shell crab is as to how much crunch you get from the shell. I've had them where they were a little past the normal, if you know what I mean, Sanguine, where the carapace is hardened on the crab a little too much, because they're grabbed right after they molt, or supposed to be cooked right after they molt. And they're very, very tasty if they're not too crunchy, because the shell's off-putting.
Yeah. It's sort of like a random walnut shell with a slice of sweetbread or something.
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
So I've had both kind, and if they're fat, if they're nice plump soft shell crabs, they're wonderful. Ooh, pretty.
Trying to get most of the noodles down in the water.
And you do a similar thing for rice paper wrappers as he's with the noodle.
Just too hot water.
Yep, just a hot bowl of water. Dip the rice paper, pull it out.
You know my secrets, man.
Was it soften it enough to work with it?
Yeah, because
So it'll be pliant.
they're both made out of rice.
Mhm.
Rice is remarkably absorbent.
Mm-hmm.
So if you try to boil either of them, they effectively just
Fall apart.
they
Suck up all the water and then
suck up the
blow
water
up.
and then become just god awful mush. Whereas if you're just putting them in, it doesn't even have to really be hot water, just warm water.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's for rice papers, especially if it is just at the point where your hand's kind of going, ooh, that's almost too hot for my hands. That's the perfect temperature.
Oh. And Shredded Angel, thanks for the 209. I appreciate it. It helped me buy more ingredients. Oh, and also, hey Carson and Okie Native and Kyler, thank you for coming by. Let's see.
And Cryptic says that he boils the noodles, but Random is not using the traditional rice noodles for the dish. Are you talking about guo strips? Because guo strips you can actually boil.
Yeah.
But they're chunky.
I also had a hard time finding these noodles because they're almost sold out too. Which I thought was kind of weird. There's usually a tons of Asian food in the aisle.
And Costin's giving me some shit.
Language.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
It happens.
You're being singled out because you're extra special. So you get a personal
Which
shout
type
out.
of special are we talking about? Are we talking full
Lowercase s.
helmet?
No.
Lowercase s.
Lowercase s, not the I have a helmet. My name is Timmy.
Oh, vermin.
It's an important thing to find out whenever someone says that you're special.
Yeah.
Well, you're both sanguine.
Get some space here.
No, don't you remember my story? The high school wouldn't allow me to be
Special.
Oh yeah.
He had too big of a head for a helmet.
I also put some shredded lettuce in cold water so it doesn't brown.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good tip. I didn't know that.
You also want to cut it with a plastic knife instead of metal because it also helps slow it down from browning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it'll oxidize with the metal?
Yes.
Yeah.
It makes the tips brown up almost immediately. It's amazing. And it's, like if you need to shear part of, like if you were quartering a head of iceberg for like a wedge salad. Yeah, they actually, years ago, there was a lettuce keeper and a lettuce knife that Tupperware would sell as a set. That was, the plastic knife, and there was a spike on a raised. It had holes punched in it like a colander, but it wasn't exactly a colander that you could plant the head of lettuce in, and
then just put the knife through to perfectly quarter them.
Well, no,
Anything?
that was actually for the storage in the fridge after you had, if you opened it and washed it. You know how a lot of people, they'll wash iceberg and then just like tip it upside down to drain.
Yeah.
Instead of tearing it apart, it was a way to drain it. I always thought it was kind of clever.
And one thing to kind of mention, you know how when you're getting cling film's supposed to cling to itself, but it never really quite does?
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
Use rice paper instead.
Paper wrappers are the exact opposite. If they start clinging to each other and they aren't extremely moist, there is fuck all you can do. Oh, sorry. There is nothing that you can... it's difficult to censor my speech. There is nothing you can do to actually separate it past a certain point. It just clings to itself in the most remarkable way, which makes it a fantastic vehicle for
Yummy wrap.
food. But
here, it's sticking to itself.
yeah, the moment that it touches itself, it's like it permanently bonds.
Yeah. I have had, but you mentioned cling wrap. Cling wrap clings to itself so marvelously and doesn't cling to other substances worth a hoot. And, you end up standing in the kitchen yelling at a roll. Where's the beginning of this thing? There are claw marks on my cling wrap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or the worst is because, like, when you do any sort of processed hair dye, a lot of it needs heat, right? Mm-hmm. So, or in my case, I stripped some hair coloring out, and I needed to cling wrap it to trap the heat in, and it would not, for the life of me, stick to itself. And this is like the name brand cling wrap, right? Not the dollar store random from whatever country they're breeding in, right? No, this is like the supposedly top name brand, whatever. Nope, forget about it. It wasn't clinging to itself. I was just getting completely angry. I'm like, this is useless.
Yeah, it's just there are a lot of things. It's amazing that some of the simplest things can be some of the most frustrating things in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's like after you mince onion on a cutting board, for some reason it's like a suction event occurs and the onion doesn't want to come off the cutting board until it's where you don't want it to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, just scatter over here. Or you hear that fateful pip on the floor. And it's like, where did it go? Where did it go?
And to ask Cryptic a question, because I saw him mentioning he puts pickled carrots in his and a number of other ingredients. When you throw in pickled carrots, do you do quick pickle carrots or do you do long pickle carrots? And for those who don't know the difference, quick pickle is you don't actually heat the brine, and it's not cut by water, so it's
just vinegar,
sugary, salty vinegar.
Quick pickle was his answer, Sanguine.
Okay. Yeah, you just slice up the pickle and onion, throw it into sweetened, salty vinegar, and you give it just a few minutes, if that, and it just sucks up that pickly flavor. Whereas slow pickles, the old standard of you boil your brine, then you pour it over, and then from there you just use or let it sit, let it actually start to ferment in and of itself, and then after the fermentation you're ready to use it.
I used the wrong kind of towel.
So when you roll it, you're basically doing it a little bit like a burrito.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, use a Cryptic says to use a plate to roll.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to recommend.
Yeah, it's easier. It's not as tacky as the towel.
Yeah. Well, the recipe said a towel, so.
Yeah.
All right.
And the dude that gives you the recipe then says, use a plate. It's easier.
Yeah.
You're supposed to let him know these things ahead of time, Cryptic.
It still looks really tasty, so it's not really impact from my end.
No, I'm like,
mind you, it's food.
The one really annoying thing about using rice paper wrappers is you really have to keep an eye on the temperature of the bath that you're going to use for the rice paper.
Yeah, I just use lukewarm. I'm just going to make a quick convenient plate.
I'm just saying that when you're making a bunch of these, you'll find that you have to replace the water bath because it's gone a bit too cool And well, yes, if you throw it in there and let it sit long enough, it can still get pliable.
Yeah.
It is a hell of a lot slower with cool water than it is with warm, borderline hot, but not quite hot.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is there any fear of it becoming too soft if the water is that why you should avoid going too hot?
Well, you don't want to go too hot because you're sticking your hand in it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it should be,
do. Forgot about that part.
it should be at the point where you can do probably like a 2, maybe 3 count with your hand in the water before it's too uncomfortable, too hot to keep your hand in. And that is pretty much the ideal temp. And then if you have it that warm, it's functionally, you put the rice paper in, you flip it once, you flip it twice, you pull it out, and it's good to work.
But that roll looks so tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first attempt. First
I'm
time ever
just-
doing this.
It's like I'm trying to peel my eye off of it.
See, they need to invent instant transmission, where so you can have a little box in your home and you just
I want the transporter and I want it now.
All right, I get my plate.
Or the food replicator.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of my favorite things to make with the rice paper wrappers is when I do bulgogi, I kind of do a Korean barbecue in a Vietnamese presentation. Because I'll do bulgogi, make absolutely beautiful, or rather it's technically a kalbi rather than bulgogi, because bulgogi is if it's a shredded beef, kalbi is if it's still in its normal cut form. So I'll make and then it's galbi is if it's pork. So I'll do a kalbi and then cut the bones off, throw the meat in, throw some Napa cabbage, vermicelli, quick pickle onion, quick pickle carrot, and wrap that up, and my God, it's delicious.
I didn't wait as long, so it might be easier this time. Might not have enough mint to do all of them.
Well, you'll have 2 flavors then. You'll have a minted version, and I don't think I've ever seen it with mint.
It's
I'm not sure.
something that you can sub mint out for if you don't have the proper basil. If you don't have Thai basil, then you can sub mint.
They're in the same family, so it's
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting about fusion.
Oh, according to Cryptic, it's traditional to have it with mint. I've normally had it with Thai basil instead.
Yeah, basil is what I've usually seen, which is funny because mint is so much easier to come by. Is it a specific type of mint?
Didn't say.
Just mint.
Yeah. And mint's not really that cheap either. So.
No, but I tell you, it grows like a weed.
Yeah. I grew some myself before. Probably starting my herb garden again.
I can find Thai basil, believe it or not, in the little family-owned garden place a couple of miles from where I live. They'll carry stuff that you might not find at Lowe's or Home Depot or that kind of thing. But I planted mint in a container to keep it from trying to hop the container. because when my parents bought this house, they had planted mint right outside the back door.
Mhm.
Oh boy, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
We have a curry plant that's like that. It's just a bush now.
I planted my mint in just a mason jar, put it on the windowsill behind the sink.
Hmm.
That worked pretty good.
Yeah,
And
it's
yeah, the availability of Thai basil has increased a fair bit because
But
it
yeah,
has become more popular.
if you're looking though for like the clamshells of herbs,
Hmm.
Hmm.
not so much with the
Yeah.
Thai basil. That's usually your
You have to
typical
buy it loose.
Mediterranean basil. You either have to buy it loose or, like I said, go to a garden shop, plop it in a pot, and it grows like basil. Basil does.
So I
Pretty
think I
much.
figured out the trick. Don't wait till it's fully cooked. Take it out just before. It's
Yep.
So bad.
And Data is asking you, Useless, have you ever done a vid on banana bread?
No, not yet. I could though. I'm not a big fan of bananas because when I tried to join the military, the army, my recruiters made me 8 pounds of them a day to gain weight, so I'm kind of sick of them now.
Ooh, God, that would do it.
Yeah. I mean, I like bananas, but if I'd have, by the fourth or fifth one, I'm done. So I can't
Yeah.
imagine. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fairly lucky where I live because I can get a lot of fairly difficult to acquire Asian
Mm-hmm.
produce.
Yeah.
And if you can find a good Chinese market or Korean market, any Asian market, that you're in good stead normally with getting everything like this. But I have a rather large one that includes a food court. But the food court's absolutely amazing.
Oh wow,
Nice.
that
It's
is nice.
ridiculously cheap.
There's a pretty good sized Asian community here,
Mm-hmm.
especially over near where Mekong
Mm-hmm.
is. The Answer. Yeah, it's a brew pub on the back of a Vietnamese restaurant. Don't ask. But yeah, that area has a large Vietnamese population. But I've been surprised at the number of Asian markets that have opened up because the first not just quick mart kind of
You
markets.
had the H Mart there, didn't you? I think the H Mart's been there for ages, hasn't it?
Wasn't it Ton A that's over there?
Oh yeah, it's Tane.
I have H Mart.
Yeah, I have H Mart's one of the big ones that is in.
Do you guys get TNT over there?
I don't think so.
I wonder if
I
it's
haven't been
Canadian.
to TNT.
Turner Network?
It's an Asian supermarket.
Mm-mm.
Oh no, it's Canadian chain. Okay.
Yeah, but the
No,
Ton
it's from here specifically.
that Ton A market has been around for a good long while.
Yeah.
Well, of course, Mekong has been there a good long while. So yeah, it's kind of funny. This wonderful Vietnamese restaurant, wonderful dude who runs it. He loves beer, and he used to have just an amazing beer selection on the menu
Mm-hmm.
for the restaurant. So I mean, people were like, "Hey, I like the food, but you can get pretty much any bottled beer in the world."
Also, it's hilarious because, especially if you read the sour/wild ale page, it had some of the weirdest descriptions.
Oh yeah,
One of the beers I vividly remember, and I still get a laugh out of it, because the beer was described as funky wheat piss.
yeah, yeah. That sounds like On though. His kind of sense of humor. But this guy loved beer so much, Sora, that he decided to start making it. And then he just built off the back a brew pub. And the selections are amazing. There's a fair bit of finger food that you can order in there. But just fruit.
Did he keep the salted calamari?
Oh, damn, I don't remember. But you know those little shrimp puffs?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like air that tastes like shrimp.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we went through 2 baskets of them at Christmas because we always end up at the answer. We might start out in Scott's Edition. It's a thing we do at Christmas for 2 people whose one's birthday is the 23rd, the other's the 24th of December. And they're brother and sister. So we've kind of been adopted by this family. So every year we have lunch and then we wander around the pubs and the breweries and Scott's Edition. And then it's like, all right, we're going to the answer, right? That's where we finish. It's a lot of fun.
Water real quick.
Yeah, one of my favorite appetizers that they had at Mekong was the salt and pepper calamari.
Yum.
Yeah, I love salt and pepper calamari.
The only place that had, I won't say that they had better calamari, but they had a dipping sauce for their calamari that just absolutely made the dish, because they had a cilantro cream dipping sauce for their calamari, and that was mochi mochi.
I would give you the cream and keep the calamari.
You're not a fan of octopus?
Because that cilantro cream was just delicious on that. And just to give a tip for everyone watching at home, when you finish your rolls, make sure that there's a bit of a gap in between them. Because as I said with the rice paper to begin with, when you soften it, that it will stick to itself like no tomorrow.
Yeah, those guys will just be wedged together.
Yeah, you will have a single block of rolls if you
That'd be okay with me.
butt them right up against each other. So you want to make sure that you leave a bit of room in between. After they've sat for a little bit, they become less tacky. And then you can plate them up next to each other, but until then, leave space.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm getting the hang of this, it looks like.
Yeah, that is doing really, really well now. You've got the hang of it. That's the part that terrifies me about trying to make something like this.
Oh, the first one always comes out ugly.
Well, that I'll end up with just nothing but wadded up balls of frustration rice. Because I'm not that deft anymore with my fingers, so it's like.
Hey, Prospero.
Yeah.
Is that what teenage boys call their socks?
Wadded up balls of despair.
Probably.
Yeah. You goofball. Oh, that's such a callback too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness
I do have
gracious!
a lot of practice, making burritos, so it's pretty much the same thing. Just stickier.
It's so neat. You're making it so neat and tidy too.
I know.
You should see me wrap my presents.
Do you make straight edges and corners?
Yes.
Oh, you're one of those people.
I do the same thing, except I don't wrap anymore. Thank God, I don't have to give presents too often.
Yeah.
And they go in bags now. Here, I love you. Screw you. I'm not spending time on this. It's funny when Kree and I first started dating. The first Christmas he went to California. His sister lived there. The whole family was gathering there, and I wrapped all the packages for him. And so he gets out there and he's distributed packages to everyone. And his sister looked at him and she's like, girlfriend wrapped them. And he's like, well, what do you think? For God's sake, it's not in the comics. Because he used to just save comics and use that to wrap packages.
I do that too. Here
Oh,
and
I
there.
like that. That's nice.
It's colorful and
One time I did
And then and it's like two presents in one, because if you're careful to unwrap, you can read the comics.
I did wrapping once with an old manga. I did that once.
oh, that's cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good. His mom would have been successful at saving that because she could unwrap a present without tearing the paper.
Oh, nice.
Where's the fun in that?
It took 4.5 hours for her to unwrap a present, but she was so neat, and she'd say it was so she could save the wrapping paper.
I've
Where's
done
the
that.
fun in that? When I'm given a present to unwrap, that wrapping paper at the end looks like the Tasmanian devil. I had to censor myself 3 times in that one pause. The Tasmanian devil has gotten to the wrapping paper.
Oh, right.
Yeah, your burritos must be absolutely beautiful. I tend to overstuff, and then things start flying apart.
Oh yeah, that's the danger.
Well, you
Yeah.
know, being from South Texas, I'm used to burritos.
Yeah, well, I'd hope.
Yeah. Well, if
You're
you
a
notice my channel-
you're a one-hand enchilada wrapper too, right?
Well, if you notice on my channel, I do make a lot. I made a lot of tacos. So,
Yeah, very tasty looking tacos.
And the one thing that can make this process a bit messier and make it so it's more difficult to make it pretty is when you have wet ingredients.
yeah, I can see that.
If your ingredients are fairly dry, then it tends to work out decently. The wettest thing that you have, I think, is vermicelli, but that's dry by
Most of the water's already absorbed up by that.
stuffing standard, yeah. Whereas if you have, like I said, when I do the bulgogi, the bulgogi's fresh from the grill, still dripping and delicious, and that makes a mess.
Yeah, and I did cut the noodles like a couple times to make sure they're small enough to fit in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, figuring out little tricks here now. Putting the water back so it's hot and not adding so much.
Well, that's the neat thing about you're doing this because it's the first time make for you.
Yeah.
So everybody is seeing how the learning curve should work for them.
Yeah.
You know, the trial and error in whenever you do anything new. I remember when I made Scotch eggs the first time. It was like they weren't kidding when they said to wet your hands.
Yeah.
Because you cannot form sausage around a hard-boiled egg if your hands are dry. You end up with sausage hands.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate the golden temperature range that you're looking for the water for those at home, the best temp that I've found is if you're able to stick your hand in your bowl of water for a 2 to 3 count before it becomes too hot.
Yeah.
You're good. If you're just able to stick your hand in there all day without any problem, way too cold, heat that thing up and replace the water frequently or freshen the water frequently because you want to keep it that warm, but it takes time to roll out. So most of the time you'll get 1 to 2 wraps done and then you'll have to freshen because the water's just sitting there.
Cryptic's talking about pork belly.
Yep.
I want to try that one of these days. Do some pork belly.
I like it. I sometimes find it far too fat for me. So I eat it sparingly, but it is very good.
It is rich. But
and that's the thing that makes it amazing.
yeah.
See, I prefer tuna belly. I find that very, very good. So I can eat that a lot easier.
Yeah, I do like a good tuna steak.
Hey, Loop.
It is kind of pricey, you know. Oh, hey, Loop.
With
Thank you for coming by.
pork belly, it's all about making sure that you render enough of that and you get that fat cap nice and crispy.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do something quick.
Didn't you sub in compressed bacon one time, Sagan?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you don't have pork belly, but you want to have the pork belly fattiness and you love smoky brined bacon flavor, which if you don't love that, there's something wrong with you. One way that you can kind of cheat in order to get that pork belly ness into the dish is get thick cut bacon. Thick cut bacon works the best for everything. It's the bacon that everyone should buy, but you get bacon and you want to get like an inch of bacon all laid right on top of the other so that they line up as perfectly as you can.
And then did you use like a cast iron press?
What I did was I cut it in half, put the two halves side by side, cast iron press on top, cast iron pan beneath, stick that in the oven to cook up, and this you want to cook in the oven, don't cook on stovetop, and make sure that you don't fiddle with it a lot. So you cook it with the one side up, one side down until it has kind of congealed almost together. Then you gently remove the grill weight. You flip it because the bottom side will probably be crispy. The top side, not quite yet. Put the grill weight back on, finish cooking, pull that out, chop it up how you want for your pork belly. Oh, it's good.
Yeah, that's a what temp do you cook it when it's in the oven?
I cook it normally between like 350 to 400. And it seems to work at any of those temps. So 350, 375, 400 all seem to work.
Excellent. I think that's a great cheat. You know, you don't have pork belly, but you want to emulate pork belly. There you go. That is a good looking roll there.
Yeah, I'm getting better at it.
And one of the things to keep in mind for that pork belly cheat is, I don't know many people that do this, but I've heard some people do this. Don't pat your bacon. You know how when you're pulling meat from the pack, when it's just come from the grocery store, or pulling it out of a vacuum bag, you pat it to make sure that you get a better sear. Don't do that for the bacon. Leave all those juices on, because those juices are part of the reason it fuses together like that.
I've never patted bacon. I just take it out of the pack and fry it.
Yeah. I've
never heard of people doing that either.
But I've heard people do it just like they do with every other meat. I'll pat a steak, I'll pat chicken, I'll pat every other
pork loin or something. Yeah, because you're trying to get a rub on it or something, so, and you don't want it gloppy, gloopy wet. But God,
also just improves the sear.
Yeah, but that beautiful, yummy slime that's on that happy fatty goodness, juices of bacon. Oh no, I don't want those to go to waste.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the gelatin you want to keep in too. So.
Mm-hmm. All that wonderful fat, which is why bacon is so wonderful. I want bacon now. Oh dear. I know. Focus on egg rolls, shrimp, yum.
Yeah.
But yeah, that pork belly cheat is really nice. Because there's just those times where you're going, I'm going to make a rice bowl. This rice bowl would be perfect if I had some pork belly. I don't. I have bacon though.
I actually really like kimchi in rice balls.
Mm-hmm.
Just kimchi and rice, it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually gonna try and make some kimchi one of these days too. Because I never had it
Oh.
before. You know?
Oh, it's tasty. It's tasty.
So I'm getting this down pretty easy. You want to keep the rice paper in there too long, like maybe 15 seconds at the most.
Yeah, like I said, if it's at that about 2 to 3 second mark for temperature,
Yeah.
it's functionally you toss it in, you flip it once, you flip it twice, and it should be nice and pliable.
Yeah. Because it'll finish, out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Carryover softening.
Yeah.
Cryptic says Sam's Club sells pork belly.
Yes, it does.
Isn't that like one of those like those big
Yeah. It's
Costco type stores?
Yes, it's the Walmart version of Costco.
Yeah.
30 $30 for a 5-pound. Oh God, yeah. I don't have a Sam's Club membership, but I do know someone who does. What can I trade them?
Mm-hmm.
That's when I'll make you a big pot of gazpacho if you'll go buy a pork belly for me.
Yeah. You buy it, I'll cook it. Right.
And of course,
That's a good trade.
way of subbing out pork belly is if you have a place that sells slab bacon, get slab bacon. It's better.
Yeah. Good old pastor taco is very tasty,
Slab bacon's best bacon.
We used to have a butcher's fairly close by before they got closed down, which is too bad. But they had also you could order even if they didn't have a cut of meat or if you didn't have anything. They like a butcher's, and I know in most grocery stores you can do this, but they had the connections to all the small farms, so they could get you specialty this and there and that, and it was a yummy place. But
there's a small market near us that I went in and they sell game and they'll order stuff too because they happen to have merguez sausage in one day and I just froze. I was like, merguez? Oh my God. And it led me to say to the guy how difficult it had been for me to find ground lamb. One of our markets always carried it, and then they all retired out of the business and sold it, and that company never carried the lamb. And they didn't carry oxtail as often or things like that.
I know exactly what grocery store you're
It was U Crops, and they always had ground lamb. They had ground veal. They'd have oxtail, soup bones, all the wonderful things that you need hither and thither. And then when they retired and shut down the chain, sold it to a division of Giant Food. They slowly but surely broke the heart of every employee in there, as well as all the shoppers. So they lasted maybe 3-4 years in the market, and out they went. And Publix has come in and taken over a good number of their markets.
Well, I always find it's kind of hard to find good lamb.
I have found, and it's funny, I found it on the Amazon Fresh.
Oh, yeah?
First, and then I noticed that Publix carries it, but Amazon Fresh has it for $1 a pound cheaper. It's a vacuum sealed 1 pound pack of ground lamb, and it's like $8.99, which is not that bad for ground lamb because it's not wildly in demand. But I was just like, hallelujah. That's like, I'd like 10, please. They're going in the freezer because it's vacuum sealed.
Yeah.
But you're somewhat lucky, Prospero, because if you can't find a specific meat, there's a lot of butcher shops there.
Not really. The one near me, they're not really a butcher. The butcher on Belmont is
Yeah.
closer to being a real butcher.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I'm referring to.
Yeah. But
Because the butcher on Belmont's fantastic.
you know, it's just a matter of thinking, all right, I need to go over there.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's not where I shop at all. It's not that it's that far away, it's that it's a bit of a pain in the ass. Depending on the time of year. Because parking can be an issue.
Yep.
And it needs to be a decent day because if you have to park in the garage off Cary Street, you've got to walk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's one of those deals. Or I could always get Cree to drive around the block while I go in. Except he's not going to like it when I come out with a wheelbarrow full of food.
They also have some rather decent bangers there.
Do they?
Yeah.
Bastards.
At least they did when I lived in the area, because they had a house-made banger.
Oh, nice. I like good bangers and mash.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You know what else I really love?
From what I remember, their bangers weren't... There's one type of banger that I absolutely hate, and that's the soft banger.
Oh, yeah?
It needs to have a bit of a crunch to the skin, and it needs some texture on the inside. And some bangers are just effectively mush on the inside.
Yep. I know what you mean. But, you know, seeing Merguez sausage was one of those. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to go to the trouble of getting my own casings. I mean, as far as getting the seasonings and getting the ground lamb and blending it up, that I could do. But you want the snap of the casing.
Yeah.
And there are just two of us. And trust me, I'm not making my own sausage when there are just two people in the house.
No, it's too much effort.
Yeah.
See,
And
Much mess.
I fiddle fingered too much too, you know.
Yeah.
On my standing... Here's a list for birthdays and Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Is a sausage, or is a grinder and sausage maker, so that I can do that for myself.
If you're doing patty style sausage, it really is always wonderful to just buy like ground pork and season it yourself.
I want to do sausage links. I want to do sausage patties. I want the full goddamn thing.
Yeah, and you don't need to case sausage patties though.
No, but you do for links.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have my own little meat grinder to attach to my stand mixer.
Yeah.
Handy.
See, that's the thing. I don't have a stand mixer, so I want a freestanding grinder / sausage maker.
Yeah, that's understandable.
I'd go for I can't believe you wouldn't want to use a stand mixer though for other stuff.
I use my hands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we know.
That's true. You have
Yeah, we don't have one either.
meaty hands.
Yeah, I need the bread. I whisk my whipped creams, and if I'm going to cheat by any means, then I just use
Cheat.
my
Listen to him.
immersion blender's whisk attachment rather than just a whisk and time.
I wonder if I could fry these two, make a crispy skin, or I need a double skin it.
Well, Oki Native earlier was talking about how fried rice paper is delicious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any left over in your pack there, give that a try.
You just kind of have to pat it dry if you do try that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't pat it dry on the outside, you're probably going to have it spit and hiss and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
try to
Something
burn the
damp,
ever-living hell out of you.
damp hitting oil.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
Pop.
About that.
Yeah. It feels so good too.
Oh, it says here you don't need to rehydrate it. So I'm guessing just from the pack straight into the pan.
I never tried that. I'm gonna try one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
So like rice chips, I guess he's talking about.
Yeah. So-
It sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And then maybe sprinkle I don't know, some cinnamon sugar or powdered sugar or something over it.
Yeah. I'm out of mint. Yeah. You see my hands, they're all wrinkly.
Gone swimming.
Yeah. This is a bit of work too, so my back's hurting right now.
Yeah, because you're in that position.
Yeah.
Are you, when you do these videos, are you sitting or are you standing?
Well, right now I'm sitting. So.
Mm.
But usually when I'm in the kitchen, I'm standing. Like when I made those wontons were a lot of work.
Yeah.
But they're good
So
though.
that's-
They're kind of worth it. So.
It's another fiddly.
Yeah.
You know what? I would like to put in the rolls. Slice up some fresh ginger.
Yep.
Mhm.
I love fresh ginger.
I do too, in small enough doses, because it can blow your palate out, if you know what I mean. It can- and then that's all you taste.
But like with something like this, where I think this would be probably a good choice when you have just like the noodles, and it's not enough to mask the shrimp flavor, but just enough to add sort of like a replacement to the mint, maybe,
Yep.
or
You could grate a little,
shred a
maybe.
bit on the mint.
Yeah, shred it.
Yeah.
That would work.
You can also incorporate it into
Pickled ginger would work too.
Yep. Or
Mm.
incorporate the ginger into any quick pickle.
Yes.
Add the flavor to it.
Get like a gingery pickled onion.
Mm-hmm.
Throw that in. That's delicious.
Or a gingery pickled carrot.
Yep.
Also, don't have your pack of wrappers next to your water. You might spill some water into it like I just did.
Mm-hmm.
Learning was useless. Yeah. Turn on this and I'm out of mint, so I'm almost out of shrimp too, so almost done.
Cryptic. The one who gave you the recipe is he's making that, and I'm so lazy I'm eating microwave hot dogs. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have some popcorn after this, so I feel you, Cryptic.
Yeah, they're times that it's like, Do I have a can of soup? Yes. Do I have crackers? Yay. It's just.
Sometimes I eat right out of the can, you know.
Why dirty a dish?
Yeah. Well, you know, cold soup is pretty good sometimes. You know? Maybe
Yes,
more egg
talking
yolk.
about that. Meanwhile, he's making that, and I have short rib that I'm currently searing off.
Oh, nice. Did you baste them first, or marry them?
Nope, these are the Asian style short rib with the 3-bone rather than the European with the single bone.
Okay.
Oh, Data, no. Why? Dipping raw hot dog into ranch?
That monkey does that.
Yeah.
What? Oh.
Oh, and OK Native is making Desayuno Chapin.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat. Breakfast of Champions.
Well, technically, you know, the hot dogs you get already cooked. They're just warmed up.
Yeah, but ranch, I just can't even.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dip them in
Okay.
gochujang.
so a different upbringing, I guess. Because with me, I wouldn't mind dipping them in like a jar of mustard.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's fine. Like I wouldn't mind doing that, but ranch, it's too creamy.
Yeah,
It's
mustard.
too much white cream type sauce on a hot dog.
It's like putting mayonnaise on a hot
That's the
dog.
first time that you've had problems with white cream type sauce on a.
Never you mind.
I walked into it and I saw me walking to it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go with it.
Yep.
There's nothing else I can say.
Mayo is good on hot dogs. Okie native, shame on you.
I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise, anyways.
Mayo and French fries. I
Yes.
would rather I dip my fries into mayo versus ketchup.
Yes.
The best dipping sauce for fries
Very European.
and for chicken nuggets, ketchup and ranch.
You say so. To each their own, and I don't have to, so yay.
I don't.
Have you
I
even
need
tried it?
to.
I don't really care
Like
for ranch.
mixed together. Is it mixed together? So sort of like a Thousand Island type of thing.
I'm not sure.
It becomes a somewhat herbaceous, ketchupy sauce. It's delicious.
Might be tasty. I don't think I've had ranch in a very long time.
I
don't
don't
really
really
have dipping
care
sauce.
for it. I don't think it has that much flavor. If you add things to ranch, then it has flavor, like sriracha or like a buffalo ranch or a chipotle ranch. Those I like, but ranch is just kind of
Well, you're
Yeah.
adding something to it. You're adding ketchup.
yeah. But ketchup isn't what I do. Like Shroom says, mayo and habanero sauce mixed is good for fries. I can see that.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah,
I should just
that
put
sounds good.
salt and pepper my fries and call it a day.
Though the best, if you aren't dipping, and really the best way of eating fries is just with plenty of malt vinegar.
This last one's gonna be noodles.
Oh, I like that too. But it depends on the fry and not all the time.
Yeah, it'd be a bit weird to throw it on McDonald's fries or something
Yeah,
like that. It has to be a proper fry.
Yeah, more of a crispy chip steak fry style.
Yeah, steak fry exactly. Big
Or
meaty
just
one.
a really crispy fry.
Yeah, I love malt vinegar. I mean, a proper fish and chips with malt
Yeah.
vinegar is just like
Yeah.
happiness. Although I will on occasion set aside a few fries that I don't drench, and I'll use HP sauce because I love HP sauce.
And HP sauce is used properly, unlike steak sauce, which is an abomination.
Yeah,
Hewlett Packard sauce.
Hewlett Packard sauce.
Sorry.
House of Parliament sauce, please.
Microchips. And by steak sauce, do you mean brown sauce?
By steak
Something
sauce,
like
I
it.
mean what in America is sold as like A1 and that like. HP is a brown sauce.
I mean, I make my own sauce out of the marinade and I make steaks. So.
That's probably better.
HP
Yeah.
can be good on
Pork.
like a pork pie, or like if there's a mince pasty,
Mm-hmm.
like a mince and tatty pasty.
Yeah.
HP adds the little extra it needs, because a lot of times, especially if they're like bought at a stand, like at the Celtic Festival,
Mm-hmm.
there's more pastry than moisture.
Yeah.
So you pour HP sauce in it, and it's like yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay.
Mm-hmm.
Although, like, the single greatest thing I think is since rare old times has been coming to the Celtic Festival, and they have their Reuben egg rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, they're so good.
Rare old times is fantastic.
But Reuben egg rolls, it's just like
That sounds tasty.
oh, it is, and it's just amazing. And there's a place that's out there every year that does a really good lamb sausage roll. It's
Mm-hmm.
and I mean it's not like merguez. It's just your kind of traditional British lamb sausage, but it's still tasty.
Finding if you wet your fingers makes it easier to keep the spring rolls
Manipulate them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You mean is that 10? Yeah. That made quite a few.
Yeah. Well, the last one is just noodles because I ran out of everything.
Well, it would make
Well-
8. It made 8 solidly with the mint, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's still a good.
Trying to get them up. I need more space. Here, I'll just use this. So I'm gonna come off the towel before you stick to the towel, Yeah. Came out pretty good.
Yeah, they came out very well. I mean, I'm not as intimidated. That's the word.
Intimidated.
Intimidated. Yeah, it's pick the wrong day to give up sniffing Coke. I just drank a bottle of it instead. I'm not.
I forgot the other things. That's
the other things.
17.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's a lot of them.
Yeah. I might try to find a few of them, see what happens.
Oh yeah.
And did you come up with a dipping sauce for them? Because they're amazing with a dipping sauce.
Yeah, I made my own. Where'd I put it? There it is. Oh, this is rice wine vinegar with some teriyaki sauce and some fish sauce.
Mm.
So, pour some of it out, see how it looks.
I like the Thai chili.
Yeah.
I love peanut
Sauce.
sauce.
Ooh, peanut sauce is good too.
I'm having that. Kind of wish I had some sesame seeds oil too. That'd be nice mixing there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those would be tasty.
Just for everyone at home, whenever you use sesame oil,
Yeah.
a little bit goes a hell of a long way.
Yes, it does. Otherwise, it's all you'll taste for the rest of the day.
It is absolutely a flavor override.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad you say that because I said it to a friend who likes using sesame oil, and his assumption was that I don't like sesame oil. And I said, no, you don't understand. Things that are coated in sesame oil scare me. A touch of sesame oil.
Yeah, a dribble of sesame oil in a dish.
Yeah.
Be rather nice.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot of sesame oil in a dish. All you taste is sesame oil.
That's
Yeah.
so pretty.
It kind of coats your tongue. And I love the bright mint that I can see, and then the little and the shrimp, peeking through. It's so pretty.
I want to make some more tea real quick too.
I don't mind the taste of sesame oil. I just mind when all I taste is sesame oil.
That's it. It's as if it coats your tongue.
Yep.
And you could eat anything after that, and it would be like, ooh, who put sesame oil in the hot dogs? That kind of it would be. It just stays there, and the smell will linger in the kitchen like nobody's business.
And I'll go a slight bit further. It's not like, ooh, who put sesame oil on the hot dogs? It's, ooh, who figured out how to solidify sesame oil into cakes like this?
Well, there was a time I bought this sesame seed mixture. It was pressed sesame seed into like a bar, and it was just like too much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't taste very good.
Sesame is a fairly powerful flavor override.
Yeah.
So a little bit adds a nice little sesame flavor.
Yeah.
A lot of it, all you taste is sesame.
It's like adding toasted sesame seeds to a dish.
Mm-hmm.
If you put too much in, especially the black sesame,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, okay, who put the flies in my food?
Mm-hmm.
And why do they taste like sesame?
A little bit goes a long way. Be gentle.
So
Yeah, it is.
I'm just going to comment on something that Cryptic has put in Discord. He came across cornflake crumbs. And, sir, you have not tasted the deliciousness that is. Instead of using flour to make schnitzels, you use crushed up cornflakes. That is heaven on earth.
For schnitzel.
Mm-hmm.
That does
Also, don't
sound really good.
Also, don't forget, people, check my Streamlabs. I could use the money to buy more greens to keep making videos.
We'll use useless as a guinea pig.
Yeah, you can try it. I don't mind.
Yeah, pay him to be your guinea pig.
Yes. Mr. Cryptic did when I made the steaks. He gave me the recipe and he funded it. So it's sponsored by Cryptic.
Very
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cryptic.
Yeah. I'm gonna make some tea real quick, and I'm gonna let these dry and then try one, see how it tastes.
Mm-hmm.
This out.
Now stick.
This out.
I do like to have a little hot pot. It works pretty well for boiling water. It's easier to control than the stovetop method.
Yes.
So, especially for this purpose.
That was one of the things that I recommended in my How to Think Through Expanding Your Kitchen.
Yeah.
I mentioned that getting a electric kettle does wonders because a stovetop kettle has one notification setting, which is the water is too hot.
Yeah.
Is a one notification setting. The water is too hot.
Whereas electric kettles, most of them either have multiple settings or they have this is the perfect coffee and or tea setting.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I've seen the ones where the super extra ones that have like 10 different temperature settings depending on the type of tea you want.
Yep.
Or you're drinking like green, the herbal, the blacks, the whatever, and then or coffee, and then it will only heat the water up to that temperature. And I mean,
Which
I
is
think that's
amazing.
really, really cool. Yeah.
Well, here's the tea I'm drinking. It's a refined red Chinese right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a loose leaf tea. It's pretty good tea.
Is it a black tea, a red tea, a green tea, or a white tea?
Look like
black
a
tea, I believe.
China black to me.
Yeah, it's this refined China tea. It's a Do Hong Po tea. I don't know how
Oh,
to say
it's a
it.
Hongcha.
Yeah, okay. The water's hot enough. You don't want your water boiling when you make tea, so you just want it just on because of boiling.
Yep. For most Hongcha, you want it about like 180-ish.
Yeah.
For green tea, you want it a little bit cooler than that. For white tea, you want it cooler than that.
I got this fancy tea thing too. Where's my cup? Let it steep for a few minutes. It's kind of hard to see at that angle.
Yeah, but that's a neat container.
Yeah. I'm not sponsored by it, but you go to adagiotea.com, you can find a bunch of good tea and vessels for it.
That's a nice hint.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll type it down in the chat. I'll spell it.
Is it ADAGIO?
Yes.
And it's adagio.com?
Yeah, Adagio Teas or Adagio.com. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure you type in Adagio and you find it.
I'll just say Adagio Teas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually get my tea leaves like 3 or 4 times before I throw them out because there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Yeah, different teas allow you to brew different number of times from them.
Yeah. I usually prefer the loose leaf tea, and not the tea bag stuff because you get more surface areas, you get more flavor from it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a lot of times the tea bags is just powder or dust.
Yeah, I don't drink hot tea very frequently. it has a tendency to make my mouth feel very dry after I drink it. I don't know if that's me or what. I like the flavor of it. I don't like the after effect. But I'll drink iced tea till the cows come home.
Yeah. Well, I like iced tea too. Sometimes I make like a good like a chai iced tea. I like that.
Oh, yum.
I've never had chai.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's the best. I could like drink forever.
All right, I'm gonna try one this spring. We'll see how it turns out.
And a really interesting type of tea that not many people have tried before, or not many people in the States have tried before, let me phrase it that way, is if you can get a good pour.
A good what now?
Pour tea.
Pour.
Oh, Poor?
No, it's PU space or dash.
Oh, is this the Kenyan tea, like the one that is almost like it looks like instant coffee? Like it's really really like finely ground, dried, or finely chopped.
Pu'er is a Chinese tea from Yunnan province. You can either buy it loose or pressed into a cake or pressed into a brick.
Mm-hmm. It's PU space ERH.
Yep. Or PU apostrophe ER or P
hyphen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get it on Amazon. 12 ounces for about $15.60.
Yep, and it is one of the blackest teas that you can get because you have. So most Western black teas are Hongcha, which is red tea. Pu'er is a Haicha, which is, or rather, Haicha. Haicha? Yeah, Haicha. Which is a black tea.
Yeah, it's they do sell it in a cake. It's organic and fermented.
Yep, it is one of the highest fermentation teas that you can commonly get.
So somebody wants to watch me eat, but I'm not sure about that.
How are they?
Oh, they're pretty good. Tastes like shrimp. Here's my tea. Came out nice and red color.
That contraption is so cool,
isn't it?
That's really neat. It's really cool.
Yeah.
How's your sauce? Did it turn out well?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, it's not sauce that Crypto City will make. He never gave me the recipe, so I just made my own. Mm-hmm. Most people don't know what I look like, though, Kendra. So.
A couple really easy dipping sauces for this would just be some peanut sauce and a bit of either sriracha or a little bit of gochujang.
Gochujang would be yum.
Yeah.
You can do another one, which is a rosewater dipping sauce.
Huh.
And the rosewater dipping sauce is rather nice.
It certainly would be floral. I'm not joking. I mean, that's the effect of rosewater.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't they pretty?
Very nice.
Yeah. My table's all wet now.
That's quite all right. We're looking at the food, not the table, dear.
Oh, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for making these.
Yeah.
And demysticizing the process for people like me.
Well, I think it's fun to cook for people and let them watch. Eat all of them on camera now. That's a little much. I'm gonna have one more though. I'll try one with the mint this time. Look at this one.
You're gonna try one with the mint?
Yeah, because I eat ones without the mint. So. Let's see.
I know.
My stomach is actually
Yeah, I know.
right now.
All I'm thinking of is I don't have any of these things in the house to try to make them, and it's making me sad.
Well, if I could share with you, I totally would.
Oh, I know you would, sweetheart. You're very generous.
Oh yeah, these are very tasty. But I don't think they'll ship well though. They're kind of
No,
soft.
I think they would probably arrived as this more of that sad, congealed despair.
Yes, it would. Sorry, Data. I think Data's put in his order for a dozen to go, but we already know that's not gonna make it, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, eat them all.
Oh, I'm not that kind of sad, Sean. It's okay. I'm not Hillary sad. I'm just like, I want sad.
I make a lot of noise.
That's
But
okay.
you can find most of these greens in your ethnic aisle. 1 second. In an ethnic grocery aisle, because I checked on rice paper and the noodles. Not mine. All the noodles were sold out except 2 packets, so I bought the last 2 just in case.
Good idea.
And there's plenty of rice paper because I guess nobody knows what to do with rice paper. Like this, all these hoarders with the food lately are kind of going crazy, buying things they don't normally buy because they don't know what to do.
Yes.
And when you're looking at the rice noodles, there's 2 main types. There's the thin vermicelli like you have. And then there's actually, I'll say that there's 3 main types. There's a thin vermicelli, there's a thick vermicelli, and then there's guo strips.
Yeah. All right.
The thin vermicelli work really well in this. The guo strips have a large number of uses. You can use them in this, but you should know that they're treated differently. If you get the guo strips, those are actually boiled. If you get thin vermicelli, those are just in warm water. If you get thick vermicelli, those are the ones that can go either way.
1 second, I'm an Okie native. Thank you for $5. I really do appreciate it.
Ooh, more ingredients.
I could keep making videos because making cooking videos are kind of expensive because it's not like doing social commentary or games. So each video costs money.
You have to kind of buy the food.
Yeah, I mean I do get to eat it, but still. So you're doing both. You're making videos and feeding me. 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah. Well, I think that's about where we should call it. It's been almost an hour and a half. Do you guys have anything? Do you guys have anything you want to promote or shill or any last words?
Now you can check us out on Minions of the Zoo. And I believe there will be an apprentice host this evening.
Yes.
Namely, our good host of the moment, Useless, will be hosting this evening at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, 9:30 Mountain. That's for you, Cryptic. And 8:30 Pacific time, which, as Useless says, is the best time.
Yes.
So you and Cryptic can fight that out, but just
it's fine.
Minions of the Zoo channel on YouTube. Check out our buddy here.
Yeah, it's gonna be a busy day for me.
Yes,
2 streams. Yeah. You saw? You have anything?
Oh, nothing really to show or anything. Just the minions, as well. A different topic every night, so that's always fun. But I will say, Cryptic is asking, what are you making next? Do you have that planned?
I'm not sure yet. I think my next video is going to be the cumin mushroom chicken.
Ooh.
Made. So that should be good. I just gotta do the voiceover. I do that after the minions tonight. So other than that, that's about it. And Sanguine, do you have anything you want to show, like your cooking channel?
Yeah, I'll show my cooking channel. Check out my channel, Sanguine Magavan, for cooking videos and equipment videos, recommendations on how to start a kitchen and how to grow a kitchen. And I'm a bit inconsistent with videos at the moment. That should hopefully change in a couple weeks. But at the moment, life is life.
Oh, Okie Native wants a link. If Prospero, can you do that since you're the one who has a wrench right now?
Oh, the link for Sanguine's channel?
Yes.
Certainly. Give me a sec.
I should give more people wrenches.
And then, of course, the Minions of the Zoo, where I am the Wednesday keeper.
Yeah, I give. How do you...
I got it.
Thank you.
So, if you like listening to me chat, again, I had to censor myself.
There, I gave Sora and Cryptic wrenches.
Unlimited power.
Data's screaming at you now.
If you like hearing me BS about random topics, check out a Wednesday show.
There, I gave one to Data too, just for the hell of it.
Just to shut him up.
That's how Data speaks.
Yeah,
I know. He and
I
Sean.
love Data. He's a good guy.
He and Sean shout at us, and it's wonderful. Well, I can read it from a greater distance. I don't have to crawl up onto the computer.
Well, all right, guys. Thanks for coming out to my second ever live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the food because it's pretty sure damn tasty. And I hope you try to making it, and you can show me the pictures of your creations on my Twitter feed at Useless Cook, or even you can hook me up. Look at me Facebook as well to Useless Cook. And down in the description, I have a link to my Discord if you want to check that out. Mm-hmm. And other than that, thank you for coming and have fun.
Thanks for having us.
Yep, it was a pleasure. All right.